Hello, Enugu State. I will be in your city from the 28th to 30th of November this month for the Enugu Transformation and Development Summit. And the theme of this summit is Human Capital, the Crux of National Transformation. We live in a time where our country, and indeed every state in our nation, is clamoring for some sort of change and clamoring for some sort of, development. People are crying and asking for something new, all right? And I believe that we have been positioned by God to bring answers to a world that is plagued by all kinds of vices. I believe that God has solutions for nations. God has answers to the questions of humanity and of people. And at this point in time, we are going to be having a paradigm shift kind of meeting. It's not going to be a meeting as usual. We've been used to having meetings and talking and nothing happens at the end of the day, right? So this time around, we are coming with something very strategic, something that can add value to lives, something that can add value to an entire nation and an entire city. All right. So you may be asking, why human capital? All right. Why the choice of this team? Now, human capital is the most important resource that any nation have. All right. If a nation will develop, if a state will develop, you must pay attention to the most important resource that state has, and that resource is called human beings or people. Nigeria is at a point of, retrogression, sorry to use that word, not because we are not blessed with resources, natural resources, and of course, human resources. But Nigeria is at the point where it is currently today because human capital, which is the most important resource a nation has, is in a state of impoverishment. And this is why for a nation to become developed, they must pay attention to the human capital, the human beings in that country. Today, we are struggling with unemployment as a country. We're struggling with poverty as a country. We're struggling with, mortality as a country. We're struggling with all kinds of things, crime, criminality, and moral erosion, value erosion, unethical behavior. We're struggling with poor infrastructure. We're struggling with so many things, all right? The prices of goods and services are hiking geometrically by the day. And why are all these things happening? Because human capital, which is the major factor in the development of a nation, is undermined, is very much undermined. Usually I tell leaders of government or leaders of nations, when I speak with them, that if you value your human capital, if you value your citizens, you will pay attention to their development, you will pay attention to their thinking, you will pay attention to their education. Our country seems not to have a grasp of the importance of education, and that's why our schools are dilapidated, our curriculum is near obsolete, as it were, and teachers are not properly funded, are not adequately funded. The school facilities are very much in a state of dilapidation, as it were. I tell leaders of nations that if you value your citizens, you want to give them good road, you want to give them an enabling environment to thrive, you want to give them steady power, steady energy. All right. I was in a few nations. I'm not going to mention the countries because I don't want to give credit, all right? And permit me to be selfish a little. But I was in a few countries around the world a couple of weeks back, and I was out on this tour for several months before I came back to Nigeria. And shocking enough, I never encountered power outages. I never encountered the kind of power epilepsy that we have in Nigeria. I mean, most of the nations I traveled to, I enjoyed steady power supply for all the period of time. I mean, for as long as 3 weeks, for as long as 1 month, there was steady power supply. And I began to ask myself, where can a nation go without an enabling environment? When you put power in place for your country, you're creating an environment for your citizens to thrive. All right. Energy is an enabler of development. When there's energy, when there's power, when there's electricity uninterrupted, your citizens can be productive. Of course, good road infrastructure and a lot of them. So why are we coming with this conference? We want to begin to put the framework of development and transformation for our nation together. Of course, this is coming for Enugu now, but this is not just going to be an Enugu affair. We're going all over the country to sound this alarm and to herald the clarion call and to create a shift in paradigm to help leaders and help citizens of states in this country know what is required of them to do to shift their economies, to shift their social experience, to move their country to move their state rather from impoverishment to prosperity, as it were. So in this conference, we're going to be dealing with all that you need to know concerning how to develop yourself as a person. We're going to be dealing with the principles of success. We'll be dealing with job creation issues. We'll be dealing with a lot of stuff. We'll be dealing with dynamics of growth. We'll be dealing with leadership development. We'll be dealing with a whole lot of stuff because the focus this time is on developing people. Yeah, we have to raise the awareness and the consciousness of our citizens. We have to be intentional about changing the way our citizens think. All right, we have to be intentional about reordering the priorities of our citizens. We have to make our citizens become aware of the importance of developing themselves. All right, today we are in a rat race situation. Everybody just wants to make it anyhow. People want to cut corners, do whatever they can do just to survive. But you see, in the long run, the effects and the consequences will always catch up with us. There are many shortcuts people are taking in the country today just because they want to survive. But these shortcuts will further deepen our crisis as a country. So we have to lay the template on ground and show people the principles and what they ought to do if they want to have sustainable, long-lasting success. All right. And of course, for our leaders, because we're also reaching out to the leaders of states, of the nation, we want to help them see what their cardinal roles as leaders is or are. We believe that leadership is a tool for bettering the lot of people. Leadership is a tool for enhancing the well-being of people. Leadership is not a tool for self-aggrandizement as we have seen it in our country today. Politicians and leaders alike get into office with the notion that they want to make money or with the notion that they want to fulfill their own dream of being leaders, of being whatever they want to be. But more than just fulfilling a dream of being in a position, there is a higher need, or there's a higher calling, or a higher essence for why you are in office, or you are a leader. You are in office or you are a leader to better people's life, all right? To transform lives, to transform society, to help people actualize their dreams, all right? So as a leader, you are a ladder that helps people to climb further or help people climb up in life, all right? You're not a leader to put people down. You're not a leader to trample on people's rights and take advantage of people, all right? So there's a whole lot we're going to be dealing with on this conference. Of course, we'll be talking about business. We'll be talking about economy. We're going to be talking about talent development, skills acquisition, vocation. We're going to be talking about education, self-discovery, purpose, and it's a conference with so much. It's a mix of varieties of life-changing, impact-driven, purpose-driven, courses. We're going to be having, of course, facilitators coming from all walks of life to take on some of these courses that will impact you very amazingly and tremendously. All right, so permit me to give you the details of the conference. Of course, it should be on your screen right now. The conference, like I said, is kicking off on the 28th through 30th of November. The venue is Addicts Youth Hotel, located at Independence Layout, just before Ruben Store and Okwara Square in Enugu State. And I will be there alongside a team of very professional facilitators, experienced facilitators with track record, with experience, and who know what it takes to build lives and build societies. So join me on the 28th, 9 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. So it's just one session a day. We're going to have a break and then other things in between, breakout sessions, syndicate sessions, and all kinds of stuff, mentorship coaching sessions and all that. So 9 a.m. through 4 p.m. We're going to be having a swear time, and of course, it's going to run for 3 days. Now, let me also let you know that we're going to be having a very important future. We have what we call job fair. So Enugu Job Fair is going to be featuring in the course of this conference. And what's the idea of the job fair? The idea is to source out young men and women who have what it takes to be gainfully employed but are not gainfully employed. So we're looking for youth corpers who have just maybe gotten done with their youth service or current youth corpers, and then youths who have gone through formal school and still don't have something doing. We're looking for young secondary school leavers. We are in search of able young men and women, youths who may not even have any professional qualification, who may not have some sort of formal educational certification, as it were. We're looking for such men, who have skills, who have a passion, they want to learn, they want to be gainfully engaged, and they want to add value to lives and society. We're looking for such people like that. We are trusting God to create over 5,000 jobs, all right? We're in partnership with firms, we're in partnership with businesses, we're in partnership with companies, organizations, and industries to see how we can create a platform for gainful employment. So during this conference, we'll be having on-the-spot job interview, all right? We're going to be having on-the-spot job interview. And of course, for everyone who is part of the job fair and everyone who is qualified to fit into one industry or the other, there will be on-the-spot recruitment into jobs that we're going to make it available in the course of this conference. So I want to invite every one of you, spread this news and tell everyone that something huge and something very transitional, something very transformational, and something very developmental is coming to the city of Enugu. It's going to be unusual. This is not one meeting like other meetings you've been used to. This is intentional. This is going to be very paradigm shifting. This is going to be evolutionary. This is also going to be revolutionary in the sense that your mind is going to be shifted. You're going to be having a mindset reset. You're going to be having a mindset shift, and there's going to be a whole lot of transformation of your heart, of your mind. And trust me, at the end of this conference, you'll be walking into your promised land. So please permit me to ask you to be my guest. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much, and of course, God bless you. Goodbye.